What is up, gamers? Welcome back to Game Brigade. My name is Brian. I don't know what it is, but whenever I start filming, I always feel like I got to stand up and readjust myself. What is up? Welcome back to Game Brigade. My name is Brian. Thank you for watching. Today on the show, we are going to be doing another deep dive into a specific campaign that I want to talk about because it excited me in some way. This is Should You Back. Think about changing the name of Should You Back. I've talked about it a lot. We might discuss that at the end of this episode. As a reminder, we have a giveaway going on right now that will be launching once we hit 10,000 subscribers. To be eligible for this campaign giveaway, you must subscribe to my channel and comment following the comment rules, which will be discussed later on. So please help us reach that 10,000 subscriber count as we go through our giveaway for Avalon the Riven Vale. Today on the show, we are going to be talking... Let me go ahead and move this over. About Star Trek Ascendancy, The Final Frontier. This is a game I have been waiting for a while. It's got 7 days left in the campaign. And I want to talk about it a little bit and share some of my thoughts on this one. Because I'm torn. And I kind of want to hear what you guys think about it as well. So this is from Gale Force 9. This is Star Trek Ascendancy, The Final Frontier. Basically, this encapsulates all of the newest content, as well as some of the additional changes to the rulebook that were put forth. I have been very excited and wanting this game for about 4 or 5 years. I've wanted Star Trek Ascendancy. It's been a game that's been kind of like on my bucket list of games to get because I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I've watched nearly all of the media content out there, and so seeing a lot of these civilizations and how you can play with them and some of their cultural differences really inspired me to want to play this. So that's what that is. What is this game? Well, it is a classical 4X-like experience where you are going to be picking one of the civilizations dependent on the amount of content you buy. There is a variable amount, but the base game only includes 3, the Romulans, the Klingons, and the Federation. You will select your home world and you're going to kind of create these hyperlanes of galaxy planets, you know, like arranged out in the space. I think that's kind of cool. Kind of makes it so the game is completely unique. Now, it is completely different from a lot of the other games I've played that have more of that hex-based tiles that all connect together to make it kind of a more cohesive galaxy map. This does have a lot of dead, wasted space, so that is something to consider with it. But overall, you are going to be building your faction, expanding out, exploring, new worlds, doing Star Trek stuff, eventually running into your fellow players, potentially waging war, potentially taking their colonies through politics. Things could happen. Obviously, 4X-like things, military, civilization-like things. This also does include, the game found has an exclusive 3 new civilizations to increase your collection. If you are a returning buyer, if you have the original game, this could be something you're interested in. Or if this is something you were kind of interested in, you will be getting 3 new civilizations that these are game found exclusive, so they're not going to be sold in stores. The first one is the Terran Empire. These are the alternate universe angry humans, effectively rude humans. I hate the Terran Empire in terms of how it actually works, but they've used them in almost every show. I feel like has included the Terran Empire, but effectively, you exist in an alternate universe, but you're just a pissed off you. You're just an angry you that fights all the time. That's what the Terran Empire is. The Gorn Hegemony. These guys are from like the original show. Really stupid. The guy with the suit that fights like this, effectively that. And the Tholian Assembly. Deep Space Nine had a lot of Tholian assemblies, and I believe Discovery. I stopped watching Discovery in season 3 or 4, so I haven't seen them. But when I was looking it up to see what other media Tholian assembly was part of, it says they're in season 5. So I don't know if I'm going to keep watching Discovery. It's kind of fallen off it's not very good. I think it's the worst of all the Star Trek shows I've seen. But these are the 3 new civilizations that you're able to get. You got pissed off humans, you got the Gorn, who are hunters, and the Tholian Assembly, who are crystalline species who destroy everything they run into contact with. The thing about this game, now if we talk about what's in the box, you get all the species and stuff, but why are we pledging for something like this? It's because they have gone out of their way to make this all-in-one storage solution to kind of compact it. If you come up here at the top here, you can see they've got these two big cubes. You got the Borg cube, and you have the NCC 1701, the Enterprise hull, effectively. And these are like the storage boxes. These are Kallax friendly storage boxes, and they kind of show that they're kind of trying to make this a all-in-one storage solution for all the game's contents. You have the races or the factions you have on one side, and any gameplay components that you need on the left. Kind of cool. I like that they're doing that. I think it's going to be helpful to keep this game organized instead of just a huge rectangular box that's hard to store and usually has to go on top of your shelf. This can be featured prominently in your Kallax, so I think that's pretty cool. Here they're going to talk about all the gameplay elements. I've already kind of talked about it, but basic 4X stuff. You move around. Now, they did make some changes here that I want to make notes of with the kind of the second edition rules revisions that have kind of has made the gameplay lessen. Now, one of the biggest complaints I've seen when coming to this game is how long the gameplay can last. And if we go all the way up, I believe they quote 180 minutes, which technically isn't that bad, but I'm kind of curious what's the amount of players, because I have played games that are up to 10 hours, not of this game, but other 4X games. So 180 is actually not that bad. But is that 12 players? Is that 6 players? Is that 3 players? I'm curious on how that works. But basically, they have changed some of the rules, mostly regarding movement, which has sped up the gameplay significantly and also changed kind of the strategies that people are implementing, which is kind of cool. And makes me a little bit more encouraged to play it. Let's come down here and check out the rewards and talk about what are we looking at so we can kind of break down really what my thoughts are regarding this pledge. They have the Final Frontier expansion. This is basically for returning backers who already own the original game. So if you already own the original game, you can purchase this. It's going to get you your storage boxes as well as the Game Found exclusive content. And then you can even add on any additional content that you might have. If you're missing like the Borg or something, you could pick up some, additional civilizations packs. But this is effectively for people who already own the base game. Mostly to note as well that it does include the NPC mode and the campaign mode. We'll talk about that. I'm not sure if I love it or not, but we'll see. The next is the Star Trek Ascendancy, the Final Frontier. This is basically the base game with the original civilizations as well as the new content. So you're not getting all the other civilizations. You're just getting the base 3, the Klingons, the Romulans, and the Federation, who probably have some of the biggest stuff in the world and like the Star Trek universe. Plus, you're going to be getting the Gorn, the Tholian, and the Terran empires. So that'll be kind of a weird mixture if you were to ask me. I don't necessarily know if I'd recommend this one, but if I did, I would probably consider doing an add-on pack and adding on some of the Federation or some of the civilizations that more align to what I would like. And here we have basically the all-in for the gameplay. So this includes all of the factions as well as the base game and the new content. So in terms of the other factions we're looking at, you've got the Ferengi. Those are the guys that all about trading. They're all about the deals and making money. The Vulcans. This is the Spock guys. You should know who they are. Oh, I didn't want to click off of that. The Borg. Obviously, the Borg, I want to say obviously because you might not have any idea, but the Borg are the simulation people who basically have all the robotics on their body who want to assimilate everything that's living to absorb their culture and technology into their hive. The Andorians are mostly, I believe, from the Enterprise TV show, if I remember right, and they were basically at war with the Vulcans and not very friendly people, more spy-like and whatnot. The Breen, these guys were also mostly, I believe, from Deep Space Nine, very violent, very warlike people. And very isolationist. And the Cardassians are mostly also from Deep Space Nine. If you've seen Deep Space Nine, also is a very good show. If you haven't seen Deep Space Nine, a lot of the people in here are, in fact, the Dominion. Oh yeah, the Dominion is right there. A lot of these people are from Deep Space Nine. Cardassians, though, are another big empire who basically were at war with a small little faction that Deep Space Nine is orbiting. And there's a lot of cultural, fights going on between them. And the Dominion War is people from beyond a wormhole who are massive, very militaristically powerful faction who eventually went to war with the Federation and everyone in the Alpha Quadrant. So that's mostly who I, and at this point, I wouldn't recommend one over the other. The Borg would be cool because of what they do and kind of how you, as all the players, are also going to be fighting against this Borg. I think that's kind of cool. That might be one I'd recommend. But realistically, I would pick what factions mostly align to your enjoyment of the game. Like, I'd probably pick the Cardassians, I'd probably pick the Vulcans, I'd probably pick the Ferengi. Those would be like the first three for me. Then probably Dominion, Andorian, Bring, and Breen final. And then personally, like if I was to go final, then it would be the new ones that are part of the Game Fan exclusive ones. Those would be last for me. I'd probably pick these ones over all those other guys. But again, it's not talking about the gameplay elements. It's talking about the relevancy for me in terms of Star Trek. You could also, like I said, you could purchase this middle one, this 200 or this, not this one, which is this $250 one, and just add in these packs if you'd like them for $30. That is something that you could do. Some of them are a little bigger, so like the Borg one's $40, but you could add in all these packs if you want to do that. Then they have this $500 pledge, the deluxe all-in, which includes everything we've already talked about, but also includes the Starbase collection. So basically it gives every faction their own unique Starbase that's basically follows Next Generation like lore. And then it also has dice, custom dice. I am not a huge fan of this custom dice thing. Here's the dice pack here. Basically gives every single faction their own dice. It's just a ton of dice that you're going to be adding into your stuff. I'm not sure, because if you come down here, they're saying that the dice, in their opinion, is $130. I don't agree with that. But $65, I'd rather just not get dice and cut the pledge down by $65. Could we do that? The Starbase collection, even here, $85. You'd have like there. It's only $100 here from $400 to $500. Adding those two items, so you're getting a deal, but it's still very, very expensive for me to want to justify that. So if you come down here, you can see some of the new stuff too. They have a new campaign mode. This is something that there are featuring in the if you're just buying like returning backers, it's part of the the main thing of the new content you're getting. So you have this new stuff. They also have some NPC modes. So let's talk about that. The NPC mode is for solo play or multiplayer. You can add in additional NPC factions, which will have personality traits. If you want to put in a leader here, they have Captain Picard playing as a Federation. You have basically what are they going to do? What are the priorities are they going to do? And based on how you interact with those factions, those personalities can change. So example, they have amicable, and then here it goes to warlike. So those are some of the kind of personality changes you can have, and they have multiple leaders they talked about for each of the factions to kind of make the gameplay a little different based on how that leader plays and how you interact with those leaders. So that's the NPC gameplay. You can have that in your multiplayer games if you just want to increase the amount of factions that are available to you that are kind of interacting with the players, or you can play solo if you want to just play against two or three other factions. You can have the NPC mode taking over for that. So that's good for that. I could agree with that. You've got the Borg gameplay there. The Borg is obviously coming around trying to assimilate everyone, and the players are going to have to work together to defeat the Borg as well as try to defeat each other, because we're all fighting for territory control here. They also have the brand new campaign mode. This is one of the other books that they're going to include. 15 scenarios, basically taking stories from the TV shows and letting you play them, but you're going to have basically a bunch of conditions and markers on the board that are you have to find and discover and complete those scenario objectives to complete the missions. And they kind of show some of these well-known scenes from shows. You got Discovery here. You got Tribbles. You've got when Picard, spoiler alert from 30 years ago, he becomes part of the Borg. And I believe this is from Enterprise, one of the first attacks on Enterprise, but the TV show. Enterprise is like the original ship, by the way, not this Enterprise. It's like the original ship, the original Enterprise. So that's kind of some of the things you're going to be playing around with. Side note, by the way, how do people feel about this? I'm not a fan, and I've never been a fan of real like screenshots taken from the media that we're using and implementing that into my game. I don't love it. Like if this was on a card, the Tribbles, I'd rather have an artistic rendition of that scene rather than a screenshot of the thing. So that's just my personal take. I'm not a huge like the campaign play does not drive me for this, and I'd honestly rather this have be an add-on than being part of the campaign, because it's just making it more cost being added in. It can be great, but I doubt that, like with me and my personal taste, how much I would actually utilize the campaign mode versus why I'm buying it, which is more of the 4X Star Trek experience with my friends. So that's kind of that. So here they kind of talk about those factions we already talked about: the crystalline people, the Gorn. You remember those guys, and the pissed off humans. You can take a look at all this stuff if you want to talk about it. And they also mentioned 0 stretch goals for this game. Basically, what you see is what you're going to get. That's it. So we're going to go and switch to my big head. Wrong button. This button. And we're going to kind of wrap up and talk about my final thoughts on Star Trek Ascendancy. This is a game, as I mentioned, I was super hyped for. Really, really wanted this game. But after seeing the pledges here, especially the $399 one and the $499 one, really kind of stinks. And, old Brian would love the $500 one because I want the starships, I want the star bases. But it's a lot of money, and I look at other games, like you can't see it, but I've got Twilight Imperium up there. You can get Twilight Imperium as low as $90. I've seen it roughly around $120. Basically getting a very similar experience, non-IP obviously, but for a quarter of the price. It's a big ask for Gale Force 9 to come in here and ask you to pay $400 plus sales tax, plus VAT costs, plus shipping. You're looking at potentially upwards of $600 for some of these pledges. Can be a lot of money for a gameplay like this that might be honestly a game that you're really only going to play once to 4 times a year, just because of potentially the length of the kind of game that we're looking at. Now, again, I haven't played it with the new rules, so I don't know how that might affect the overall gameplay elements. Like, does it reduce it to make it a little bit more palatable? Is this something we could actually break out at 7:30 on a Friday to play game night, and it's not going to run past 2 or 3 a.m.? Like, is this a game we can get done in 3 or 4 hours? That's a good question. And I play with 5 friends or 6 friends? That's what I really want to know. And I think that's going to be the biggest question for me about this one. So I think the cost is a little high. That was my first thing that I wanted to mention. The other thing that's kind of sucks is that this is supposed to be like a deluxified version of the game for me. And if we actually switch back to large game found face Brian here, and we talk about like what's in the box. Where is that thing? What's in the box? This is just a personal thing for me. Like, I'm buying here a $500 deluxified Star Trek game. I wish they had alternative miniatures for the factions. You've got here the Enterprise Galaxy class starship, but I would love to have seen other types of ships that I could have built and have exploring the galaxy, because we're paying a lot of money. I think they could have potentially added the 2 or 3 molds per faction, and it probably still would be making a pretty good profit. But that's just me. I think I would have loved to have seen more. And they have this thing down here when I was looking at add-ons. Originally, I thought, oh, maybe this is what it is. They have these escalation packs, which is a bunch of more ships. But I think this is just more ships. And what sucks is they don't include, like, what is this for? They just say 45 starships, 15 per civilizations for the factions, those factions, and you can buy them for all of these. But as far as I could tell, this is a Galaxy class starship. You have Warbirds. This is all the same stuff. You've got the Cardassian ship up here, Vulcans, but these aren't different. And I might have even recommended, like, oh, you know what? Buy this, buy the alternative ship models. I think it'll be really cool. But I think that's a big miss on my part personally, regarding what I would like to have seen. It would have made this really cool. So what am I doing? What is my thoughts? I am probably, as of right now, I'm not backing this game. I'm not backing it. I want it. What I would probably try to do is see if I can find this second hand once this delivers, and see where I'm at that point, and seeing if I can pick it up. Because then you're looking at a little bit probably cheaper cost. Shipping might still be a pain in the butt, but I think I might be able to get this cheaper later down the road. But the problem is, are you going to get exactly what you want? That's the question. I don't know. So I don't know. What is your thoughts? Actually, so that's actually what today's question of the day, entry for the giveaway. So If you stay till this point, thank you for watching. This is the point in the video where you are going to get an entry into the Avalon Riven Vale giveaway that we have going on the channel that will be given away at 10,000 subscribers. We're less than 500 subscribers from getting there. So remember to hit subscribe, remember to hit the like button, remember to share this video with your friends. But to enter the giveaway, you're going to enter a comment down below with hashtag QOTD for question of the day. So you're going to answer my question. And my question is, what are your thoughts on this campaign? Did this excite you? Did this not excite you? Did this not care? Are you only here for the giveaway? I would love to know your guys' thoughts regarding this campaign. We have 7 days left to make a decision on this one, if I'm backing it or not. You guys are going to help influence me on the either one way or the other. So please leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And again, remember, subscribe, comment, share. Anything you can do to help boost our channel's performance is a great help and helps us get to that giveaway even sooner. And I'll have even more information once we hit 10,000. We'll probably do even more stuff as a celebration, but I really like to get there sooner rather than later. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. Expect at least 2 more Should You Backs this week, or at least this week and maybe next week, as well as a new vlog coming out on Monday. Remember, vlogs for the most part will be launched on Mondays. I might move that to a Sunday or Saturday depending on like algorithms and watch times for you guys. But as of right now, they are launching on Mondays. Thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.